Hello, welcome to All Things Doctor Who. My name is Aaron, and today I'm joined with Alex Patterson.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me. I'm Alex Patterson from the Doctor Who Guide YouTube channel, where it's all about helping each other grow our knowledge collection and connection with other Doctor Who fans. And I've been a long-time subscriber of all things Doctor Who, so really excited to be here.
It's been a long time coming. It's been a long time. It's been such a hectic period of my life. So I'm happy to be back making videos, talking Doctor Who, and just talking something. Let's go straight to the point of the video. Say we're doing a tier list now. It's something I really love doing. Now we are doing the TARDIS, obviously the TARDIS Interiors today. So that's obviously going to be from the 1960s and William Hartnell from the classic era all the way to the new era. Now. Obviously, looking into this, there's obviously only is what's selected. There are a couple of pieces missing. I am going to be honest. I noticed, especially Joe Martin's Fugitive Doctor and the War Doctor, but we can kind of add them in our own little place when it comes to. So, without any hesitation, let's start off. And obviously, my handyman Alex Patterson here. Obviously, today we're going to be looking at William Hartnell's TARDIS Interior from the 1960s. Obviously, let's go. Now, obviously, this was from 1960s. This was first introduced in An Unearthly Child. Now, it's a classic interior. I really love this one. I don't know what you think about it personally, Alex.
I mean, I just can't forget the scene in An Adventure in Space and Time where they show the designer throwing this together from odds and ends, and yeah, it's gotta have a special place in our hearts for establishing so many motifs that have been used in every TARDIS since. I wish we'd gotten to see that lovely light avocado green that the TARDIS console is in color during this era. And yeah, this is back when they had photographic blow-ups of some of the walls, right? And the doors wouldn't close, and it was just so impressive for what they were doing, and so creative. It established this excited Rundles. So I'm having a hard time, trying to think about this from a non-nostalgia point of view, right? For me, what I gravitate to in a TARDIS is that colorfulness. I love the color, which I know might seem a bit maybe strange because the more classic thing is a very minimalistic, white and neutrals. But yeah, so just from that standpoint, I'm like, it's not the most colorful for me, but I want to know what you think.
I think personally, if you look at it from this era it was made, it was very much how they imagined the spaceship would be. It was very white, very shiny, clear base. You've got the working machinings and the clear panel at the sides. You've got the chair, you've got very 60s ultra, and it works. And it's just so classic in its manner, even to respects of, as we said, the Fugitive Doctor's TARDIS is very much similar to that manner. It's been carried on so long. So I'm gonna have to put it personally an A. I know it's sacrilege, it's not an S in my opinion, but obviously, please don't hate me. I would die this hill, but personally, I'm going to have to say I'm pushing it as an A. It's a classic, it's one of my favourites, but there's couple that go a bit higher.
All right, gotcha. So I'm moving things around on the computer here on the tier list, but this is your channel, your video. So at the end of the day, I'm going to defer to that, but I will throw my objections in there. But if
you can tell me you don't agree, you can tell me.
So next up, we have the third Doctor. Third Doctor's
before we
TARDIS
continue,
is what they're showing
before we move on, I was going to say, where would you place it personally? Do you agree with A, or are you going to go to S?
I agree with A. I think that the original, you have to factor in the production quality throughout the whole of the show. I think that if they'd been able to have non-photographic walls and doors that opened and closed just fine, I mean, then I think it would get an S. But I think the team themselves would say, yeah, no, we wanted better, for it to work better more of the time. But it reminds me of those bloopers in Star Trek: The Next Generation, or any Star Trek show, really, where the doors don't open and they walk up to the door and it doesn't open. Like, that's classic. That's classic. So we can't dog it too much for that. But I do agree with that. I personally, there are more favorite TARDISes for me to come. So yeah, I agree with that.
With the third Doctor, as you introduced, obviously I'm going to say my opinion, and say yours, then we're both going to say where we want to put it on the list. I'm going to be very honest, with Time Monster as an episode, I'm not going to review or talk about the episode here, it's more of a TARDIS Interior. It's the bowls that get me. If we're going off the clip they've got, I love the idea, I love the little bed, the little bed that it just tucked away. I love, it's still so 70s. I don't say I know it was the 70s, but I've got such a charm. But I am gonna have to say it's not my favourite. Pertwee suits it, and they did well, but I'm gonna have to personally put it in C. Don't hate me. I'm saying C personally for this model.
So C.
Yes. Well, what's your opinion?
I am not a huge fan of the bowls. I'm not a huge fan of the bowls. I feel like the third Doctor didn't really get a chance to have his own TARDIS because that wasn't the model of the show. I mean, you see it in just the console in Inferno. You hardly see it. It's a dematerialization circuit or a police box in the unit lab. So, it was an interesting redesign here, but I would agree with that assessment. I think there's a reason it stuck around, I think, for one episode. And in this particular example, I'm surprised that they included it in the tier list and then not, like you were saying, the War Doctors or the Fugitive Doctors. If we're going for like that quick of a variation, I would expect to see more TARDISes in here.
I absolutely agree with this. For bowls for me, I think the era and the model of the show at the time it wasn't meant to be TARDIS. It was the Doctor on Earth with unit with a base camp, and I think that wasn't the main point they were going with. But hey ho, what they had, I don't mind. So do you agree with C?
Yeah,
C.
I would do C.
Lovely. So moving on, we have Tom Baker's console. So this was from season 12 going forward. Am I correct?
Yes.
Season 12 onwards, classic console. They kept it on until the 5 Doctors. This console was used relentlessly, and there's a reason. It's so simplified, it's perfect, but you've got that technical aspect. It's iconic, and there's a reason why they kept it on for so long. I'm going to be honest, I think it's one of the all-time classic consoles. When you think to Doctor Who sci-fi, classic Doctor Who, I'm going to have to put it in an S personally, this one, just because it's just it's iconic in a lot of specs. It works. I don't know how to say that rambling on. What's your opinion, Alex?
I think that it's a well-deserved S tier here. I think that it's building off of Hartnell's design here, and you do even see that they try out, and we'll get to the secondary one for a second. They try out a different type, and then they go back to this, it's hard for me to separate this TARDIS from my favorite Doctor. I'd say from a design standpoint, do I have any, thoughts or issues with it? I mean, what's ironic though is that it's barely in season 12, at all. It's a time ring for Genesis. It's flying. It's the Ark, and so yeah, I absolutely, I wander in eternity in this TARDIS. So I think that's a great listing, and we can now kind of segue into the mahogany model, if we're calling it that.
I mean, I'm going to be honest, many people are going to be surprised. I love the mahogany model. I love that TARDIS from the season 14. I think it's It's a
What?
one-off TARDIS. They used it as a one-off. It was meant to be just to replace it because I just think it's so stylish. It's unique and it's got a beautiful look to it. And I remember picking up one of the DWM magazines just because they had an actual diagram model you could build of that TARDIS just for that. I love that TARDIS, and I think it's got a lovely stylish setting. And I am gonna have to put it in the S tier myself. I know not everybody would, and I get that, but it's my list. I can't miss, and I think I'm gonna be honest. S is where I'm gonna go purely for love, nostalgia to a sense, but the look. What's your opinion?
I was concerned when you initially started out by saying, you know, a lot of people aren't gonna like this. I love this TARDIS, so I was like, wait, do people not like this TARDIS? I love this TARDIS. It's a beautiful design. I do think that I wish that like TARDIS redesigns in general were as different as the Doctors themselves, so that we could see different architecture, different styles. I feel like we get that more with the new series, but for a lot of classic Doctor Who, you know, they found something that worked and stuck with it, perhaps because they wanted, you know, when there's so much change with so many aspects of the show, they perhaps wanted a bit of continuity with like the TARDIS exterior, for instance, and also with the interior. I definitely respect the S tier. I probably myself would have put it in A because I don't know. I think most people, if they saw me doing a tier list, would go, "You're not using the tier list properly," because everything would be like in the S or A tier. Like I hate to like put anything, you know, much lower than that. But you know, it's all down to personal opinion. So but I love that you love it that much, and I think one of the best explanations of the TARDIS being dimensionally transcendental happened in that TARDIS, and of course, you know, robots of death. Gotta love that. That time in the show and that era. So
Deadly Assassin as well.
Yeah. So next up,
we have the obviously premiered with 5 Doctors, a special big new. This was the TARDIS from the majority of the classic era. They even demolished half of it to a point in season 26 where they had to film around it like it existed. So yeah, it's a very iconic TARDIS. This was with the 5th, 6th, 7th Doctor, and I really like it. It looks like a time machine. It's silly because it's a TARDIS, but it looks like a time machine. I love the little buttons. I love the rotor design as it goes up, and it feels like a progression of the original Tom Baker TARDIS, but with added extras that I love. And one of my favourite scenes is from the 5 Doctors. It's when Davison's walking around just wiping bits and bobs, making it all sparkly. It's a lovely, charming scene to really show off the TARDIS with that model. Overall, though, I am going to have to put it in B. It's iconic. I really appreciate it. But I don't... If I was going to have to pick it as... If I was told you get to pick any TARDIS model you could travel in, I wouldn't go with that model, but I really enjoy it. What's your opinion?
So you put it in B.
Yes.
So I love the ways in which they added to the TARDIS, even though it kind of also drives me nuts as far as like one day wanting to recreate the TARDIS, or even to like when you think about like the Daleks that you see on screen and you're like, I wonder if that original prop existed, and then you read about the production and you're like, oh yeah, they took like this half from this original like previous stories Dalek, and they took another half from this exhibition Dalek and glued it together and then exploded it, and you're like, oh, that original prop doesn't exist anymore. So I love that they added in the randomizer, they added in that keyboard that pops up on a separate level and comes out again, and you know, I love the like all the buttons, and like you're saying with I mean, it's very 80s, and the fact that it's like it's such classic Doctor Who to be like every button you press needs to make like a bing bang boing bing bang boing noise, like when you.
It's very
I was like, I love that idea. It's so I I would think I was expecting you to put it in A, but I'm fine with B as well, just because, as I've said, we're coming up on some very colorful TARDISes and ones that I'm very passionate about. So I think just for me, I tend to enjoy the more colorful and like, you know,
Yes.
really big and you know, big and colorful TARDISes. So the more minimalistic ones I love, but they're just, you know, not quite as much my
I
jam.
think,
So next
yeah.
up, you go first here because I will.
I
Yeah,
was gonna
I have thoughts.
say,
I have thoughts.
last word on it. It's very J&T. It looks like something he would create as a TARDIS, and I can appreciate it. But the TV movie TARDIS, obviously, which is the Eighth Doctor's, and it was using this big finish in this very early era until it got all turned into a Time War TARDIS. But the Eighth Doctor TARDIS, I absolutely adore it. I think it's one of the best TARDIS models. It's so homely. You've got home feel. You've got the books on the side. You've got the beautiful architecture design. The set looks beautiful. Even when you saw like McGann and obviously McCoy sitting there with the vinyl on, it kept skipping, reading the time machine, and you have the rooms and obviously the Eye of Harmony. It really shows what Doctor Who is with the budget in the classic, like that classic era of Who. So I'm gonna have to put it a S tier. I'm gonna have to say it looks like I'm put also S tier a second, but S tier 100%. That's the TARDIS I'm going with if I'm going to be given a TARDIS.
I I'm so glad to hear you say that because I love this TARDIS to pieces. Even though like I wouldn't have initially expected that dark of a, you know, this sort of dark brooding TARDIS would be there for me, but first off, it has so many bookshelves, and I love that. And people have said that my background looks like the Eighth Doctor's TARDIS, so I love that idea of like a TARDIS being a library and just being lined with bookshelves, even though it's so impractical because you're like the TARDIS tips and falls and moves around so much. So how do those books stay in place? You're having tea and books and candles everywhere. I'm like, I love that you've designed this with like zero turbulence in mind.
I mean,
And
I'll explain later. That's all I'll say.
the clear, the clear, like, instead of a view screen, we have just a clear cathedral ceiling into space. That's like so incredible. I love it. I love it to pieces. I just want it to be more colorful, and that's it.
I mean, I'll be honest. I kind of love it for its Gothic design. I'm going to be very real with you.
Yeah,
But
it's
as we move on
beautiful.
to Gothic and emo, you could happily say the new, which is, I'm very nostalgic about this TARDIS. So as a kid growing up, I watched from 2004, 3, obviously, and Eccleston was my main first Doctor. So this TARDIS, as well as Tennant's, it was one I, associated with TARDIS with. You had the column, you had that green tint. It was, I had a play set to this growing up, and I love that TARDIS. And I think it's got a great feel to it. And it feels like a very 2000s design, it's quite an emo design in a sense, a very emo 2000s, especially for Tennant, especially. So personally, I love the Vandals, I love the green tint, I love the little stands you've got when the Doctor obviously chucks his coat on there. It's very nostalgic, but put nostalgia aside, I am going to put it an A, just because I love it, it's there, but I enjoy it a tiny bit more.
So this is, what is it? As the Fifth Doctor says, Coral. You've gone with Coral. You've changed the desktop theme, and I love the idea that there are just, all of these perhaps more colorful or out there TARDISes that aren't like these, based on these original designs, are like just baseline desktop themes for TARDIS users. Like, I love that little throwaway line. This is a great TARDIS. The 10th Doctor and the 4th Doctor are my favorites, so like you said, it's hard to separate the nostalgia from the design. I would actually agree with keeping it under my whatever my top tier is, because I I there are other ones that I like better, that just kind of edge it out. I do love this, and I mean it. Like you said, there. For me, the like play sets that you played with, I never had the like 10th Doctor one. Like we were discovering Doctor Who in 2007, and and being in the US and stuff. So like I think the place that I grew up with was the Matt Smith Series 5 one. So I thought you were going to say S tier because you had those childhood memories with it, and so I was like, oh, this is why I would actually rank the next one higher. So spoilers anyway. Moving on to the series.
I'm sorry, Alex.
Series
I'm
5
I'm so sorry. You're gonna hate me.
No.
Series 5 is going in C. Look, I love the 11th Doctor. I love his Series 7 TARDIS. I love it. It's great. It's fun. It really is a load of fun. But to me, it looks like the Batman and Robin of TARDIS is like they were trying to sell a toy. And that was the idea I got the idea. It was Matt Smith's quirky behaviour. You got this button, you got this button now. Oh, it's all quirky. But it seems so impractical as a TARDIS. It's not one of my favourites, I'm going to be honest. I've played it in emulators. I don't mind it. I like the little crack on the scanner for a bit of silence and all, but it's a bit like, hey, look at this. Do you want to buy it? Yeah, well, you can buy it right here. It's a lovely little toy playset. I'm going to have to put it in C. I'm so sorry, Alex. Please insult me as much as you need and within the right words.
See? With the bowls. Did you pronounce
Bowls.
S differently?
With the bowls, it's going. Look, it's not a D. I've not put it with D. Look, be thankful. Move it to C. Move it to C, please.
Oh, this hurts. This hurts me so bad. It's the most colorful, vibrant of TARDISes. Look, you look at some of the best Doctor Who sets and designers. They use multiple levels. Okay, they use multiple levels. That clear floor down to the part where he's on the swing working on the TARDIS with his goggles is a stroke of genius. You've got enough room, but it's not too big. It's colorful. The buttons, the knobs, everything you're saying. I'm like,
I like
that,
my
like,
Gothic
quirky
design.
with a
I
lot
like
of features. The color, it's for me. I love the color. I love that the TV scanner is like mobile. It makes sense. You've got a 6-sided console, and you only can see the scanner screen from one side. Like, this makes so much sense. And I love it. It would be A tier, S tier for me, just so y'all know. But I'm respecting. This is you said C. We'll go with C.
When I see yours, you can insult me and you can do a little jab. I'm expecting it. Right. We're going to move on now. Just going to get out because I know you're a bit upset now. We're going to do Capaldi's, which is right in the middle. Peter Capaldi's, I love it. It looks like a time machine. I love like the Gallifreyan on the top. It's so spacious. I love the design. The books on the side, it's a TARDIS I love to bits. I think it's one of the really best designed ones personally in the new series and the show. And I think in the 50th anniversary of Five Doctors, when we're walking in and they just see this whole look at them, this tint of blue, like it's so nice. Although no, it's just visually pleasing. I'm gonna have to put it in A. It's just such a lovely, visually pleasing TARDIS, in my opinion.
It's great. I mean, it does what it does brilliantly, and I think that this is what you're hoping for when you see that, like, this classic show from your childhood is being remade. I think this is a really great idea of how I want to see that happen, where it's like it's been upgraded, it's been brought into this era, it's been given the money it deserves, but it's still harkening back in all the right ways. So yes. I think it, that really nailed it. If there are times where you try and replicate something too closely and then you're just comparing it's almost like an equation where you've got the same thing on both sides, but the original has, an N for nostalgia. And so that's the only thing that then sways the
Yeah,
equation that way. So I think this added enough. And again, we said earlier, we love the books on the side. And the spinning TARDIS, put different parts at the top. Gallifreyan, that's a nice touch.
Also the little gooey thing as well.
Oh, the telepathic circuits.
The telepathic circuits. It's so weird to look at your little gooey circuits. So if we move on, let's go to Jodie Whittaker's TARDIS. So I'm sorry, guys. I like aspects of a TARDIS, but it all feels like it's in the wrong place. It feels small, like it's a really cramped TARDIS. It feels just cramped and like I'm stuck. Like I'm walking, I'm going to knock one of the stones, and then the custard cream dispenser is cute. Don't get me wrong, but I think overall I would put it so much differently. I'm sorry. I feel like it looks like I really hate some of the new TARDIS. I do appreciate it more than I used to, but it's a D. It's just not for me as a TARDIS.
Am I hearing you? D?
It's D. It's near the 11th Doctor one. It's near the 11th Doctor TARDIS.
do you just have something against like having a warm, glowing feeling in a TARDIS? Is that like? So, like
I want my TARDIS dark. I want it dark, a bit depressing, but
this I love this. The golden lighting, the way it matches the sonic screwdriver. Who doesn't?
I mean, I get it.
Who doesn't need a custard cream? We need more food dispensers in the TARDISes. Even the first Doctor's TARDIS had a food machine in it, and then every TARDIS since then, up until this TARDIS, didn't have a way to have food. Like the fourth Doctor's TARDIS, the only thing missing from that is a Jelly Baby dispenser.
I mean, I get it, I do, but
yeah.
I look at Reservoir Jodie and the Sonic, and I really appreciate that aspect of the creative designs.
Yeah,
it's just never for me. Right, we're going to move on because we are running out of time slowly.
The columns harken back to your A tier.
I know. I am going to put one in quickly, but it's not this. Joe Martin's first Doctor. Joe Martin's very classic TARDIS, but should also from David the Doctor. Just a quick word in regards to it. I really enjoy the nostalgia. I really enjoy a lot of aspects about that TARDIS. It looks really visually nice, like a really updated, modern Hartnell TARDIS. To a point, I'm personally going to put it in B. I really enjoy a lot of aspects to that TARDIS. It's not so much going on, but when Yazdids obviously had a board and all that, it was all interesting. I don't know if you want to have a quick synopsis for your opinion.
Yeah, again, I think that was really fun because unlike how Capaldi, this TARDIS Heroes, it was trying to upgrade it and harken back. They were like, no, let's try and make it something that maybe makes us think and indicates that this is what if 1963 Doctor Who had been made today, what that design would have looked like and been carried on forward into. So love it. And then we just have one.
Well, I was going to say one more for John Hurt, War Doctor TARDIS, quickly, because it does count. It does count.
It should be on this list.
It looks like it's a Peter Cushing TARDIS that Sean would very much love. It looks like a Peter Cushing TARDIS very much, and then you got the battered exterior. I love the outside of the box itself. You've got the wires hanging. It looks like it's been for war, and I love the design. It's a Time Lord TARDIS, and I'm going to put it in B again personally. But yes. So we're going to move on quickly. We've got about 5-6 minutes left, but we're going to go with obviously the 60th anniversary TARDIS, obviously for the Steamers 2. It's such a beautiful Disney money TARDIS. You run around it. You've got the jukebox. You've got the whole thing. You've got the coffee machine that keep Donna away.
It's accessible. I love that.
Yeah.
The jukebox adds that pop of color. I love how the lights are so programmable. You could have the whole dance party in there, and that is just such the
What
vibe
about
with
the
the blimps,
scanner?
the jukebox, the scanner. Come on,
The scanner's up there. It's massive.
huge, incredible.
It's one of the
I
best
love
things
it.
about the shooting era.
And again, multiple levels, right? I love
Yeah.
multiple levels in a TARDIS. Like, you've got, so much energy in our pilot here. They need to run around. It's amazing.
So I'm going to personally put that in A.
Love it.
Love it. So we're gonna wrap it up quickly, obviously. Nice and quickly. So obviously, for D we have the geodirected TARDIS. I do apologise. For C we have the bold Turbo TARDIS and Maximus Series 5. You see Alex's face just going into rage. If he was a Hawk, he would have been at it right now. And then for B, we do actually, it's the only one in the B sector. We have the 5 Doctors, obviously 80s TARDIS console, which I really enjoy. But the ones we really, really appreciate are going to be the Heart of TARDIS, Tennant, Capaldi. We love that aspect. For A, obviously for Superior, we have the season 12 Tom Baker. And personally, my very underrated opinion, my opinion, it's the season 14 TARDIS and the 8th Doctor. Are you happy with the list?
Well, I've logged my objections, but I understand them absolutely. And I love seeing I like seeing you in this and what learning what you look for in a TARDIS interior. And there's plenty of this that I do agree with wholeheartedly. And as you said, some that I'd chuck up much higher. But yeah, this has been fun.
All I'm going to say is, if I was going to have any music, it will be a bit grungy, like Nirvana, a bit My Chemical Romance. You can imagine that sort of vibe going, but that doesn't suit the 11th Doctor TARDIS, does it? You can't imagine that. You imagine like the Spice Girls in that TARDIS or something. I don't know.
The famous Earth classic, Toxic.
Absolutely, absolutely.
The classical music.
Or Spice Up Your Life. Spice Up Your Life from the 60th.
Amazing.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, guys. We appreciate your time today. We really hope you enjoyed the video. We're going to have many more tier lists going. And obviously, hopefully, Alex's face, he will recover slowly. We don't know.
I'll get there. Thank you so much for having me on.
No, it's my pleasure. It's always amazing. And I've really missed making videos, but just a quick update, I've moved into my new place, so I am getting everything set up. But while I'm moving, I want to give you guys something to watch, and I want to get back to something I love doing. So you look forward to more content. Thank you so much, guys. You take care, Alex.
Thank you. You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.